Just beyond a quiet little town, past the old stone bridge and behind the slow-rolling hills, there lay a forest so calm and gentle that even the breeze tiptoed through its leaves. It wasn't marked on any map, and the grown-ups who passed by barely noticed it. But children with wondering hearts could always sense it was there. One of those children was Ellie. She was quiet, with thoughtful eyes and a soft, steady grip on her favorite blanket, Patch. Patch had been hers since she was small. Its edges were worn thin, its colors had faded, but it was full of comfort and love. One warm evening, just as the sun dipped low and painted the sky in lavender, Ellie heard something strange. It was the wind, but it carried a whisper. Not loud or scary, but soft and far away, like a bedtime story just out of reach. She looked up from her porch, Patch tucked around her. The sound seemed to come from the trees across the meadow, the ones nobody ever really mentioned. Something gentle pulled at her heart. Not fear, just a quiet curiosity. She stood, draped Patch around her shoulders like a little cape, and stepped into the twilight. The meadow grass brushed her legs like sleepy waves. Fireflies flickered in the air, and crickets sang their lullaby below. As she neared the trees, the sound changed. The whispers felt closer now. Not words, more like feelings, like a melody her heart remembered. She stepped beneath the trees. Inside the forest, everything hushed. The leaves rustled overhead, and the cool air smelled sweet like tea before bed. The trees leaned as if listening. The whispers curled around her like ribbons of sound. Gentle, kind, safe. She reached out to touch the bark of a wide old tree. As her fingers met the rough surface, something warm unfurled in her chest, a feeling like being quietly welcomed. "Hello?" she whispered. A soft rustle answered her. Then, from behind the trunk, a small creature appeared, as though from a fold in the air. It had long ears the color of dried leaves and big moss-green eyes. Around its waist was a belt made from pine cones and flower stems. "Oh," Ellie said softly, surprised. "Evening," the creature replied, its voice like a breeze through curtains. "Are you here for a whisper?" "I think I am," Ellie said. I followed the sound. The creature nodded kindly. The forest listens to quiet wishes, the kind not spoken with lips, but with hearts. Ellie clutched Patch a little tighter. I might have one of those." "Then feel it," the creature said gently. "Or say it. Either way, the trees will hear." Ellie looked down at the fraying edge of her blanket. Her voice was low and soft. "I get scared sometimes, at night mostly. I feel okay during the day, but when it's dark, I worry. I lost Patch once, and I couldn't sleep." The creature's eyes warmed with understanding. "So your wish is a small one, something the forest can carry in its branches." "Is that all right?" she asked. "All the best wishes are small," the creature said with a smile. "Come." It led her down a winding path lit by mushrooms that glowed like little lanterns. Vines hung like soft curtains, and the bark of some trees sparkled faintly, like it remembered dreams. They reached a clearing so quiet it felt like it had been waiting. In the center stood an ancient tree, silver gray and wide. Its roots rose from the earth like gentle waves. From one of its low branches hung a bell, made of polished acorns. "This is the wishing tree," the creature whispered. "If you give your wish gently, it will hold it close." Ellie stepped forward, set Patch down at the base of the tree, and placed both hands on the bark. She closed her eyes and breathed out slowly. "I wish," she whispered in her thoughts, "to feel brave at night, even when I lose things, even when I'm scared." The wind stirred softly. Leaves rustled once, then again. The acorn bell swayed and chimed, ding, ding, as if it heard her heart. When she opened her eyes, the forest shimmered just for a moment. The creature nodded, pleased. "Your wish has been planted," it said. "Now let it grow." "How?" Ellie asked. "By walking," it said. "Come." They went deeper into the forest. The trees grew stranger and more beautiful. Some had tiny doors at their roots. Others glowed with orbs of soft light. Gentle creatures peeked from behind trunks, blinking slowly, half asleep. A large moth with moon-painted wings fluttered toward them. It settled lightly on Ellie's shoulder. "This is Luma," the creature said. "She brings restful sleep." Luma hummed a quiet tune, barely there, like starlight made sound. Farther along, a small fox with fur the color of twilight padded up. Its tail sparkled with tiny stars. It brushed past Ellie's legs, then bounded off through the underbrush. "That one is Wink," the creature said. "He returns lost things, blankets, calm, courage." Ellie smiled. "I think he likes me." "He does," the creature said, "because your heart carries a wish." They came to a pond that didn't reflect the sky, but something softer. Dreams. Ellie saw herself in the water, walking through starlit fields, unafraid. Stars fell around her like snowflakes. She reached down and touched the surface. It rippled. The reflection smiled. The forest had grown dark and dreamy now, colored in soft blue. The air was filled with lavender and warm pine. All around her, creatures yawned and curled up in cozy places. "I think it's time for me to go," Ellie said sleepily, though part of her didn't want to leave. The creature nodded and led her to a hollow nest made of leaves. Fireflies blinked like tiny lanterns all around. "Rest," the creature said. "While you sleep, your wish will begin to grow." Ellie nestled down with Patch in her arms. Luma the moth perched gently on her chest, Wink curled by her feet. The creature placed one small pine cone beside her. It smelled like sweet wind and warm dreams. Ellie closed her eyes. She dreamed of flying on gentle branches, of trees that sang lullabies, of walking through a forest where her fears fell away and light bloomed quietly inside her. When she woke, the sky was washed with dawn. The birds were singing sleepy songs. The path home was open again. Patch was wrapped around her like a hug, and in her hand was a silvery leaf with soft, curling writing. "Bravery grows when it's quiet inside." The creature stood nearby, watching gently. "You are always welcome here," it said. "Will I remember?" Ellie asked. "You'll remember the calm and the feeling of being heard. That is enough." She followed the path through the meadow. The sky had turned gold and pale blue. She stepped onto her porch, then tiptoed into her room. Patch still smelled faintly of pine and lavender, and as Ellie curled beneath her blanket that night, she felt something new, not louder or bolder, but steadier, like a little light had bloomed deep inside. When the lights turned off and the dark crept in, she hugged Patch close and whispered, "I'm okay." The room stayed quiet. Outside, the leaves rustled softly once, and far away in a forest that listens, a small bell rang twice. Ding. The end.